Anyway, welcome, Tommy, and thank you so much for offering to tell us your experiences through your own recovery from working through the online program. And I know it'll be really helpful to other people. And I know people on the online program are actually interested to hear as well. So they'll be looking forward to watching this video.
Cool.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all?
Yeah, so basically, I've always suffered with OCD.
Mm-hmm.
So
compulsive disorder.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So and then basically, I suppose now it's gradually over the years manifested into TMS, which I sort of associate with like the physical version of OCD because of the similarities and stuff.
OCD is definitely, and anxiety are all part and parcel, just other types of symptoms. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then so obviously throughout growing up, really, I've suffered with all different types of stuff. Only in the last few years, I actually really understood and actually realised that I do have a condition that flares up from time to time. But most of the time, I'm pretty good at managing it, like I say. But I suppose that's why that last one, my current, like the pelvic pain, that's why it hit me so hard, because obviously it just sort of come out of nowhere and made me doubt what I actually knew it was all along.
So basically, it sounds like from you took this, you started going down this approach when the pelvic pain came on.
Yeah.
And then you started using that and found that it was actually helping with the anxiety, presumably, and the OCD as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So how old are you now, Tommy?
36.
36, very young looking 36. Okay. So you initially, obviously, your journey, you were saying you suffered from OCD mainly.
Yep.
And then it was how long ago when you developed the pelvic pain?
Pelvic pain was September last year, so coming up to a year ago now.
And what diagnosis were you given? Because I know you had the test, you had things.
Yeah, I was originally diagnosed with prostatitis, which, if you actually, when you really look into it, basically prostatitis is basically what they diagnose when they really don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Pretty much learned from everyone, and they can't say how long you're going to have it, how long you're not going to have it, and things like that. So, but then obviously, I tried. Although I knew originally it was going to be TMS, even now, I still had to find every other cure before I come back and accepted that I knew that this is what it was.
Right. So, how long have you known about TMS?
TMS. Another one of probably about 7 or 8 years. You know Andy Taylor really well. He was
he's one of our practitioners. Yeah.
Yeah. He originally I had a really bad knee a few years ago. Had every test going, operations, everything, nothing worked. Couldn't even run up the road. And then obviously Andy used to treat me, and then that's when he said, spoke about you and said, why don't you try this and give this a go? And literally within 2 years I was in pain with that, and literally within 3 to 4 weeks I was running around playing football again, pain free.
Fantastic.
So obviously when every time I had little flare-ups after that, I told myself it was TMS and fine, and it, week or so and it would go away and stuff. So again, that's why this time when the pelvic pain, and then you get told there is something wrong with you, and just spiraled.
And you have to have everything ruled out anyway. But then sadly for you, Andy retired, didn't he? And he moved away.
Yes. I mean, I did actually go up and see him. He said come down and see me. And so and we talked it through and stuff again. But the problem is when you suffer with OCD as well, you have to find you have to have the answer there and then. You have to find it and keep searching and searching. I mean, I did everything. Tried acupuncture, Chinese herbal medicine, injections, you name it. I did a lot. And if anything, it just basically fed the TMS and just made the pain get worse and worse. And
how was it impacting your life at that time?
basically, work-wise, I literally could go work for about 2 hours, come home, have to spend an hour in the bath, go back to work for a couple of hours, come back. I was having about 5 or 6 baths a day just because of the pain. And then obviously, like, it's like the mental side of it, you know, just from the moment you wake up and you're like, am I going to have pain? Am I not going to have pain? And again, obviously, I just became obsessed with it and just couldn't do anything. It didn't help because obviously I was getting married in December. So and I was obviously completely useless on the whole of the planning and stuff. Obviously, I've got 3 children as well. So, you know, but I think that's probably one of the main reasons why I managed to be able to get up and go at work, because, you know, I've never, in all the pains I've had, I've never experienced pain like that in my life. And then obviously when you're Googling it and, like, you know, you've got every disease going, and, you know, and everyone's saying, I've had it for 20 years, you're never going to get pain. Is, oh, you know, you're like, well, yeah, crazy.
Yes, right. So at least coming across this and help realising and or accepting that it was TMS or stress-induced helped you realise that there was hope anyway.
Yes.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, definitely.
So I know we had a quick call. I gave you one of my free calls to be able to just answer some questions, look at what's going on, and give you some advice moving forward. And you decided at that point to sign up to the online program and work through that yourself, didn't you?
Yep. Yeah.
While you were doing that, and from what we talked about, and while you were doing that, did you recognise what was the actual trigger for your pelvic pain at that point?
I had an idea, a few things that I was doing. Obviously, I've got my own business, and I employ a lot of family members. Mm-hmm. So I had to do a lot of restructuring, which I wasn't comfortable because that was going to affect other people in the family and stuff. So I knew that was one of them. And then obviously plus the wedding coming up and stuff, it just all, and I knew something, I linked it as well, because I'm very good at when my OCD starts getting a bit worse, I know that, you know, there's pressure building and stuff. Like, I'm quite good at reading that into it, but again, this time it just didn't click until obviously a big bang, and and next thing I know, I'm up London every week, getting different diagnoses, making sure that I haven't got any diseases and stuff. I just, you know, just man.
At least you did rule it out. So when you started the program, you were sure that this was stress-induced.
Yes. Oh, definitely, and obviously I've read like every Sarno in it. I've like obviously got your book, Sarno's books on audio, and like literally every night I was just into the books over and over again, and then working through the worksheet, and yeah, just.
It's quite hard. I mean, getting an understanding. Obviously, this is an educational and self-empowering approach. But just doing the same old is not always the answer, is it? So
no.
You keep reading all the books, but and many people, that's what they do and they get better. But if they don't, then it's important to recognise that actually that means that they probably need some more support, or they need to do something differently. And I know that's why you decided you'd read all the books and you felt that you needed a bit more structured approach to your recovery. Is that right?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like I say, again, with me, certain things become ritual. So before, when I've had pains, it's read the book, a couple of days or a week or so, yeah, you're fine. And then obviously this week, so, you know, obviously it's going. So obviously, with the help of the city, it's like, no, something, I've got to make some sort of change in what I'm doing in my everyday life. It's, you know, it made me realise that, you know, something I'm doing, my body or my brain, it doesn't like. So, you know, it's now do something about it, and we're going to keep reminding you that, you know, you need to do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. How would you explain that the online program helped them, for example? What were the main benefits you got from that?
Just, again, for me, I like structure. So even like I'm going through all the points, whether that's the right way to do it or not, but for me, it was, I benefited from the structure of, you know, right, I'm going to go through this section today, I'm going to go through that section, and then going over it and over it and over it again until it was like inset in my mind. But and again,
and doing the worksheets presumably, and
yes,
finding out, gaining the insights and doing those, and then working with those, presumably.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I probably did the same question, going through the same questions on the worksheet probably about 5 or 6 times over and over again till I would accept that's what I've put down and stuff. The best advice I could give is don't deviate away. If you're going to go with TMS and you can accept that that's what it is, don't matter what anyone tells you, that, you know, just keep going.
Absolutely, yeah. And it sounds like you did really well with that and just reached that point of acceptance.
Yeah, I mean, it took, I've got to be honest, it took a while. And, you know, it's the depression that goes with it. That just knocks you, you know, because at the end of the day, like, I would do, right, I'm going to do this and that's going to work and then I'm going to be cured. But then obviously as soon as it doesn't work straight away, that's when the doubts come in. That's when you think, that's when the depression. Yeah, and, you know, and it's just, when everyone says, like, the worst thing you can do is try and put a time frame on it.
Yeah.
You know, think, right, I'm going to be better within a set amount of time, because they're just, you know, it's just, yeah. I guess it's different.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say that each journey, it's an individual one for each individual person. And it is about not putting pressure on yourself and allowing yourself to recover and working on the underlying causes. And actually that the symptom is less important than actually addressing the underlying causes. So the process is the same.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be slightly different with each individual, but the process is the same. And it's about not just focusing on the fact, well, I haven't got that symptom, and maybe that's not the same for me. But having said that, that's why I asked you if you would be happy to do this video, because I work with so many people who have pelvic pain, both men and women with various different diagnoses. But because they tend to be a bit embarrassed about it, they're less likely to want to actually do a video recovery or write any recovery publicly, which I think is sad, because it's probably one of the biggest conditions that I've been working with this year. There's no doubt about it. It's like on the increase.
Yeah. I mean, if this helps one person, then I think that's a success. Because obviously, when I was looking it up and everything, and you know, I've broken bones before. I've had back pain. But I've never experienced anything like it. And obviously, when you look it up, you can find a million horror stories. Try and find that one proper one that you believe in, where people are saying you're going to be fine, don't worry. You know, it's just not hardly anything out there. It's amazing. And then when you try and get you know, when I was seeing a specialist, I said to him, he went, "You've got prostatitis." I said, "So what is that then?" And he couldn't give me a straight answer. And in the end, once I obviously went through all the testings and everything that he did, he said, "Yeah, no, it's all cleared up. There's nothing wrong with you now, right? I now need to refer you to a pain specialist because you've got chronic pain." And I said, "Well, how do I get rid of that then?" He said, "I can't tell you. Go back, see someone, refer to someone else, and they turn around and say, 'Yeah, you've got nerve damage.'" Yeah. Okay, what does that mean? Can't tell you. Well, is there a fix on it? And literally, and these are the top specialists. I mean, I was quite fortunate that obviously I have like private medical. So I want to see some of the top specialists could not give me an answer of why it happens, or they basically are still in the dark with it. So, you know, normally if you go with a back pain, they can go, "Oh, look, this disc's out of line," which could be the pain, couldn't be the pain.
Yeah.
With pelvic pain, they can't actually tell you what is causing the pain, and because it obviously affects so many different areas, so they can't even narrow it down to where the actual pain. The only thing I like, which looking up that I got, is basically obviously the brain telling you something, and then the nerves and stuff. You scramble your brain, and you know, and your brain picks up on it and says, "Right, that is real. We're going to keep with that." And then obviously, which is basically the TMS, and it's just a case of retraining your brain that no, that's no need for that pain.
So what are the things that your takeaway, because you'll have seen from this is not a get rid of the pain approach. This is a program, this is a personal development program, isn't it? And I certainly follow it now, more for maintaining my health and well-being and dealing with whatever's happening in my life. But what are the big take-homes for you? How's it changed your life now as far as how you look after yourself, for example?
Oh, literally every morning and night, obviously. I even do like yoga, mindfulness, just like at the end of every day, it's like I do 10-15 minutes just reflecting on the day and, you know, basically calming your body down, calming your thoughts down and stuff. And, you know, and yeah, just basically not letting life take over. And anything, if I think, oh, that could have been a bit stressful today, I'd sort of talk through it, or I'll journal down about, you know, or that was quite a stressful day. So rather than not thinking about it and let it build on a daily basis now, anything I think, oh, might have been a bit stressful thing, I'm literally writing down about it. You know, so for instance, if I'd had a particular bad experience at work or whatever, I'd come home and make sure that I wrote that down, how I felt about that experience, rather than not doing anything. And, you know, then the next one happens, don't do nothing about it. The next one, then all of a sudden,
it builds up.
Yeah, just being really mindful. I mean, I know that is, a lot of people say that's the fad thing out at the moment, but I just think it's not that it's a fad. I just think that it's coming more to light now of, you know, we have to look after ourselves, like mentally as well as like physically all the time.
Absolutely, and presumably each time there is an issue, you're acknowledging it, but you're looking at maybe how you could do it better the next time, or looking at the positives that might have come out of it as well.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to because I mean, also since this happened, and then obviously some of the forums and posts that I do as well is all about, I mean, I talk to quite a lot of people now about TMS and stuff, and, you know, and how it can happen. I mean, there's still so many people that think I'm cuckoo when you talk about TMS, you know, because like you could literally relate anything to it. But, you know, I just think that if you believe, which there's no reason not to, when obviously the evidence out there, especially like I say, especially when you've got specialists telling you they don't know. So, I mean, there's a clue there. Yeah, if they can't tell you, then obviously then you think, well, actually, it is more of a mental thing. So, like I say, I'm just living day by day. I'm helping people. Loads of people message me about stuff now, and, you know, and obviously if I can give back, great.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's wonderful. It's always wonderful when we have people who've gone through it themselves, because you're the ones that people will believe as well when you're able to share tips and suggestions and advice about how you've done it as well. So being able to do video recovery stories like this so that we can reach more people as well is fantastic. So thank you very much for agreeing to do this.
Yeah, no worries. But like I say, I think what I regret now is, obviously we had the initial talk on the phone, but then I did wait too long to do it. Whereas I think if someone is believing in the TMS approach, then I do believe that straight on with the program straight away. Because I thought to myself, because I've done such a good job of managing it, like obviously the OCD and stuff like that, is sort of, I didn't want to accept that, you know, this had come again, because, you know, like I say, I sort of, when it happened years ago, I said to myself that I'd never let myself get in a state like that again. So obviously I missed the warning signs, and in the end it's like, you're ignoring us, so that's pelvic pain.
Absolutely. No, but lesson learned, and now I bet you really do notice any warning signs, because then it's normal to have physical symptoms that are messages from within. It's just a mind-body relationship. So I've no doubt that you, I, and everybody else will still get the odd symptoms, the odd signal, but it's dealing with the signals before they actually then go on and cause us problems. That's the main thing.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you, Tommy.